This video covers the weird origins of 2 words and 2 phrases. Try to guess all of them before they're revealed. Our first origin story takes us to the high seas of the 18th century, where ships rely on sails for momentum and direction. These sails use ropes to help them steer the ship and control its speed. But these specific ropes go by another name, sheets. And if a sheet gets loose, the corresponding sail begins flapping in the wind, losing its ability to accelerate and steer the ship. With only 1 sheet loose, the ship might waver slightly, but with up to 3 sheets loose, the ship often becomes directionless and completely out of control. Now, one of the leading pastimes among sea dwellers of this period is drinking, and it becomes commonplace to witness a drunken sailor on deck stumbling around aimlessly. Crew members begin comparing such a sight to a ship in disarray, one with a few sheets loose. This leads to the creation of a phrase we still use today to describe someone who's heavily intoxicated. The phrase, 3 sheets to the wind. The next origin story takes us to the 16th century, where voyager ships are the lifeblood of empires, and where the vast ocean is a chessboard for powerful nations, corporate interests, and opportunistic pirates alike. And with a limited number of viable oceanic trade routes, the high seas become a haven for naval conflict. In these battle-ridden waters, the art of deception is as crucial as firepower. Warships often sail under false flags to conceal their true allegiance and intentions. Such methods of deception can prove advantageous to those who use it effectively. And the practice is legal under maritime law, but only up until the brink of battle, when the real flags must be displayed. And because a flag's color is its most pronounced characteristic, showing one's true flags before battle leads to the phrase, "Show your true colors." Next, we travel back to mid-19th century America, during a period where baseball is becoming the nation's favorite pastime, with its thrilling plays, roaring cheers from the crowd, and intense rivalries. But in this story, our focus is on the pitcher. See, in those days, baseball fields were typically oriented so that home plate faced west from the pitcher's mound. So, when a left-handed pitcher took the mound, his throwing arm was positioned on the southern side of the field. Some spectators began to notice this unique positioning and started referring to these pitchers with a word that combined the direction of their pitching arm with a common slang word for the hand. And by the early 20th century, this word moved beyond the baseball field and into the boxing ring, where it's now commonly used to describe left-handed fighters. The word? Southpaw. The final origin story also begins in the mid-19th century, but it takes place in England, where football was rising in popularity. Some version of football had already been in existence in England since the Middle Ages, but it wasn't until the sport became popular among aristocratic boys at elite English schools, such as Eton College and the rugby school, that efforts were made to standardize the game. So in 1863, leaders of various football clubs met to form the Football Association with the goal of codifying a set of rules for the regulation of the game. However, in 1871, another set of clubs met in London to codify a version of the game that involved more use of the hands. This variant was most closely associated with how boys from the rugby school played the game. And from then on, the 2 versions of football were called rugby football, named after the rugby school, and association football, named after the Football Association. Eventually, they shortened association football to this, which was pronounced a sock. But some Brits back then had a habit of adding ER to just about everything. So, this became this, which was then shortened to soccer. The name soccer caught on in the United States in the first decade of the 20th century to distinguish it from American football, and by the 1980s, the British rejected the name soccer in favor of football, while the Americans stuck with the word soccer. So you just learned about 3 sheets to the wind, show your true colors, southpaw, and soccer. And now you know their origins. Go tell somebody. And like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Thanks for watching.